Welcome to the Comic Binge. I am your host, Paul Herman, and today we are covering a very timely, a very fitting episode of the Comic Binge where we are covering a epic Marvel and DC Comics team up of Superman and the Fantastic Four. So, in a way of celebrating both the Superman movie and the Fantastic Four movie, this was a no-brainer to pick, and obviously I'm not the only one doing this. There's numerous people covering this comic book because, for obvious reasons, the timeliness of this comic book and everything. So, without further ado, we'll get started here. But before I do that, I want you all to please do me a giant, big favor, and to go subscribe to the Comic Binge. It only makes sense for you to do that. For those who haven't already, appreciate it. And if you haven't, please do, and go like the video, all that jazz, etc., etc. But today I am with one of my favorite people to talk comics with, and that is with my good friend Adam, aka Pizza Time. How you doing, sir? Uh-oh, then we got a delay. Adam, can you hear me? Adam. Oh, I can't hear you.
Oh, okay, there we go.
There we go. Yeah, so I'm not sure what happened there. We had some kind of weird delay.
You're lagging a bit for me.
Lagging still? Dang it! All right. I'm hoping that my 5G would work, but apparently it is not. So anyway, Adam, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing all right. How's it going, man?
Not bad. Are you going to San Diego Comic-Con this weekend?
Yes.
All right. What are your plans for San Diego Comic-Con?
Just hang out, look for comics, see James DeMatteis is doing a panel. I'm excited for that.
Oh, yeah.
He's doing a few actually.
Nice.
Dan Jurgens is going to do a panel.
Speak of the devil.
A couple of those. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of good. It's a stacked lineup of creators this year. So
Yeah. Oh, listen.
Yeah.
Andreas,
One of the best creator lineups since I think the pandemic ended.
Really? Okay. Couple things here. We got Gar Baby. We got G Baby here coming in. Yes, I am hyped for F4 too, man. I'm maybe we'll have to do some kind of Fantastic Four thing, Garrison. We'll have to get you on there if you're that hyped for it. The movie thing's already stacked. I got a stacked lineup for the movie. But if you want to come on for Fantastic Four comics, holler at your boy. I'll even work around your schedule, maybe, just maybe, because I like you that much. So hit me up. And my buddy Andreas from the Everett Comics and Cards that I go to, he is one of the people who work there. He's awesome. Hi, Andreas. I'm glad you actually made it. Andreas, did you actually watch the last video? He tried to give me this whole thing last week. I came and bought comics. He's like, "Oh man, I missed your show." I'm like, "Well, the good news is it's always there." He's like, "I like being there though." I'm like, "Stop being like that and just freaking watch the video. Support the channel, Andreas. Come on. Stop being a bee." Just kidding. He bought a new car. Are you happy about your new car, Andreas? Even on a comic book person salary, he's buying nicer cars than me. So, anyway. But yeah, Andreas is a good kid. All right. He is a kid. He's way younger than me. So, we're obviously talking about Fantastic Four and Superman. Oh, sorry. The one comment here I wanted to get to. I'm glad it's fast for you, Andreas. All right. Anyway, we're going to be talking about the Fantastic Four Superman comic book team up. Before we do that, though, I wanted to ask you: have you seen Superman yet, Adam?
No, unfortunately.
No. What's wrong with you?
Yeah. I don't know. Just haven't found the time. Busy-ish, I guess.
Okay, so you haven't seen Superman yet. I'm a little bummed out. I was hoping you had watched it by now.
Yeah, I know.
Well, so we've got this comic book here, and I've seen Superman. You can watch the review from last week if you want to know my thoughts of that. I am extremely hyped for Fantastic Four. Obviously, there's a lot going on with this movie that's I think that is getting a lot of hype for it, and as a hardcore FF fan, it's good to see finally, right? So yeah, I'm excited. We're obviously going to review it next week. I'm hoping to get Curtis back on from the Epic Marvel podcast. So hopefully he'll jump on and we can complete our other JMS run the next month. So, I guess, Adam, I know you're not super familiar with Superman. How familiar are you with Fantastic Four? Are you with Fantastic Four?
Probably about the same as with Superman, I guess. Yeah, I haven't read many of their comics. I don't think I've really read any of their comics, honestly. And I never watched any of the cartoons.
Why?
And really, I didn't watch the movies either.
You didn't watch any of the movies?
No, maybe like bits and pieces of the first one, but
okay. Truth, really quickly on a little divergence here. The movies, the Tim Story first movie, I thought, like when I first watched it back when I was like in my early 20s, I thought it was a lot better than it was, because when I watched it recently, about 10 years ago, I say recently, but like 10 years ago, I watched it again, and it's bad, man. Whew, man, dude, rest in peace, Julie McMahon. But holy crap, he was a horrible Doctor Doom.
Oh, yeah.
Horrible. I mean, at one point, Doctor Doom and the Thing are in a diner together, like eating and talking. I'm like, but he's not even Doctor Doom. He's this Jim McMahon or Julie McMahon, whatever his name is. And I'm like,
Yeah.
why?
Yeah.
Why are we getting this? This is stupid. I think Rise of the Silver Surfer or whatever it's called, it's not terrible. It's just not great. Obviously Galactus is not in it, so that's stupid. The Cloud Galactus. I've defended Josh Trank's FF way more than most people. Now, the reason why is because the first half of that movie is kind of, I think, interesting, because it's like a very dark, weird version of the FF. So I give a bit of a pass because it's a really unique take on the version. The problem is the studio gets involved, and the third act is a mess. It's just complete. You could tell they took it from Trank from that point, and they were like, "It's ours. You get out of here," kind of a thing. So, but it's an interesting movie. I think it's way better than people give it credit for. To be honest, I still like the first 2/3 of that movie. So, but and I've said this for years now. Roger Corman's Fantastic Four is probably the best I'm assuming until this new iteration that MCU is doing. Is probably the best was the best on-screen interpretation of the FF, and if it wasn't for the ridiculous special effects, it wasn't. I mean, like, if you modernize it a little bit with special effects, it's not that bad in my opinion. Like, Doctor Doom works, the Mole Man character that they have in there works. So, you can watch the Corman version online. It's on there. I'm sure you can find it. It's not that bad. It's not for what it is. It's pretty good for what it is, which is a B movie, right? So, whatever. So
what I do remember liking, which I would see sometimes growing up, it would come up. It would come up randomly on Cartoon Network, was like the 60s Fantastic Four cartoon that I think Alex Toth did the character designs for, and I was into that, but that was always something that I barely would catch on TV, and it's like whenever it would come on, it's like, oh, okay, this is cool, I like this. Anyway.
Miller's Run, I wouldn't say it's peak Andreas, but I like it a lot. Like we reviewed it a couple months ago with Curtis, and it's actually way better than people give it credit for. And it's actually a lot more foundational than people give it credit for. So go check out those comics and check out the review afterwards because that was a lot of fun. Garrison, yeah, the 94 movie, that's the Corman movie. It's pretty fun. It's a pretty fun movie. But to go back to what you were saying, Adam, the cartoon had a lot of cool stuff in it. The cool thing about the cartoon was, or the interesting thing is that, they brought Herbie in. You know why they brought Herbie in, right? Because they wanted to replace
because they thought kids would light themselves on fire, Johnny or something.
It's insane. So I would say it's new reader friendly too. I would say it's new too. So, yeah, I like those old cartoons, but yeah, like I like the 94 Marvel Action Hour cartoon is actually pretty good too. I'd say the second season is better than the first one though, in my opinion. But I have a special place in my heart for that the Marvel Action Hour with Iron Man and Fantastic Four. Did you ever watch that? Adam, did you ever watch it? We're at a big delay here. Adam, can you hear me? Uh-oh.
Oh, what?
Uh-oh, something's going on here. Can you hear me at all? Hold on. Can anyone hear me?
Yes.
All right, good. Sorry about that, everybody. I'm having some technical difficulties because the internet sucks. Yeah, sorry about that. So I was asking, what the hell was I just asking you? I totally forgot. Sorry, guys. Just got really frustrated with this whole stupid thing here. Oh yeah, Marvel Action Hour. Did you watch the Marvel Action Hour when you were
No.
You suck.
Oh,
all right. No, it's kid. It's fun. No, thank you. I'm glad you can hear me. Thanks, Garrison. All right, so on to this comic book. So I'm obviously not the first person to be reviewing this right now. I told Michael Bailey I stole it from him when I saw he reviewed it. I'm like, I totally forgot about this comic, like completely. But the cool thing is, I bought this giant version of this comic book back a couple of years ago before they're going to be announced. They're going to be right by each other, and I bought it for like $12. That was awesome. So, yeah, like I bought the book. I never read it. And then I see Michael Bailey on his Superman podcast with Andrew Leland talk about they're going to do it. And I'm like, well, what the hell? I got to do this thing too. So, yes. And it is now collected in the new omnibus format, which I'm not sure if those are even in print anymore. I'm assuming they're probably around a little bit, but not for long, in my opinion. So, they'll be out of print soon. So yeah, like I have been meaning to read this, and I finally did over the weekend, or last couple of days, I should say. So, and I know you read it last night. What's your take on the FF and Superman? Before I get into that, even I forgot. I'm not familiar with Art Thibert. I'm not sure. Maybe some. I'm not sure if he's some like major popular older artist that I don't remember. But I know it's written by Dan Jurgens, which is a legendary comic writer, probably a very underrated comic book writer as far as his stature of like quality comic writers, because his Batman First Night thing was fantastic. So go pick that up. That's a great comic book. But he wrote this team up. So, basically, this comic gives us, a little bit of everything, right? And that's what these crossovers are designed to do. They give us Galactus, right? And they give us, Henshaw, as like the main villains. They are teaming up, if you will, or the focus of each version of the character, or each of the universe's character.
Yeah.
So it's very light. It's not super long, but it's I'm curious. Where reading this, not knowing these characters super well, what was your take on this comic?
Well, I liked it. It's a nice, it is light. Like, it's a nice summer comic, like, you kick back, after, weekend afternoon or something, and you read this and you feel, it feels pretty good. What I liked about it was, there are a few things I liked about it. One of the things that I thought was, I guess, inspired was the idea of, there's a great hook at the beginning, which is basically, well, what if Galactus was the reason that Krypton was destroyed? And it's like, that's how you tie these two sets of characters from these two different worlds together. It's a really unique, intelligent, inspired way to do that, I think, because it just fits really well, I think. Yeah, and then you have him trying to get Superman as his herald, and that makes sense, because, like, why wouldn't he want, the most powerful superhero to be his herald? And yeah, I don't know. And then the villain has a great motivation, because then he wants to be the herald, because it's like, oh, Galactus picked me, and that's fun.
Yeah.
And the team is written well. Yeah, I don't know. It's just, it's a light read, but it's I think for this team up, it's good for just, I don't know. It's a very, like I said, I like using the word inspired. I feel like it was just a really inspired way to put the two concepts together, and it just works really well.
Yeah, it's one of those
like
things,
a fan thing, but like some fan was like, well, what if some fan is playing with their action figures, and it's like, well, what if it was Galactus that destroyed Krypton, or something like that? I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where it makes a lot of sense on paper, to put Superman and the Fantastic Four together, right? Like they seem like they are a perfect match, and I think you see that right off the bat with this book, because you get instantly the just how well their personalities work together. And I think that, to me, was one of the most interesting aspects of the book, was because you had, like, all their interactions all worked really well together. And I think, in theory, Superman and FF, like Johnny says it himself, right? He says, you fit in so well, you should just put a 5 on you. We can become a Fantastic Five. I mean, that would really, if they're in the same universe, that seems very natural, to me, like the personalities and the wholesomeness of each franchise. So yeah, like what do you think about that? Like each tone of their respective personalities just really feed off well of each other. Would you agree? Uh-oh. Are we delayed again? I don't know if we are. Adam? I'm not sure if Adam can hear me, everybody, so I'm just going to keep talking. So yeah, like, I think that there's a lot to take in here.
What was that?
Yeah, I don't know, you might need to reboot your internet, man, because I think your internet's wigging out on you or something, because you're not hearing me for whatever reason. So yeah, go ahead, reboot real quick, and I'll take over for a second. So yeah, like all right, I'll kick you out here real quick. Yeah, so basically, I would say right now that if you're going to be if you're really into, like, the wholesomeness of the VFF or Superman, and you haven't read this, this is definitely something you want to check out, because Superman he fits so well with a family oriented atmosphere, especially if you read the comic books recently with, Philip Kennedy Johnson, what he's doing with, with the whole like Superman family that keeps expanding. And again, this was written and released before the, before the Philip Kennedy Johnson ever, did anything with this, obviously way before that. So it makes a lot of sense that he fits so well in this, and that it was naturally to keep giving him kids, even their adopted kids later on in Philip Kennedy Johnson's comic book, and everything. So it really surprised me how well, as I read this, it did. It just kept working as I went. So I don't know. I'll go in the comments here while I wait for Adam to get back. Yeah, it's been the theme of the night, Andrea. It's been the theme of the night. Anyone in the chat, have you read this? Hit me up here. I'm very curious because I'm curious what you all think. I think one of the things I want to touch on what Adam said was the fact that we've got this very inspired idea of the fact of Superman and his world being destroyed by Krypton, or being destroyed, him destroying Krypton, excuse me. That is a very inspired take. And one of the things I thought was interesting about this comic book was the fact that they really took on the idea of like, these are two separate universes. And whenever they are doing these comic book universes, whatever, they don't really address if they're in the same universe or not. And that was, when you read the early 70s comics from Marvel and DC collective crossovers, they're treated as if they're in the same universe. Whereas in the 90s, they do treat it like, oh, this is a whole different universe now, that it's a, whatever. And it is funny how it works out, and how like they said, like, you've never heard of this, Andre? You work at a comic shop, man. Come on, man. Yeah, well, again, this is in the omnibus, people. So go check that out. And if you haven't already, Adam's back. Adam, are you here?
Hi. Yeah.
Hopefully this works out now. I was just saying that, like, how in the previous DC and Marvel crossovers, like the original like 80s or 70s ones, I should say,
yeah,
they're treated like as if they're in the same universe. Right. And in the 90s, they're treated as if they're not.
Yeah.
And so, like, they're like, oh, we're whatever. I thought it was cool how, like, in this,
I feel like the Marvel Spider-Man Batman one, though, it kind of treats them like they're in the same universe, though, right?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does.
That one,
it's very loosey. Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, this is happening during the Clone Saga, and then like Batman just kind of shows up, and yeah.
Yeah. And so, and in this, like, they say, oh, Superman exists. But,
alternate universe, yeah.
He's in an alternate universe, which I kind of like.
But we can go to that.
Yeah, I know.
That universe.
Yeah, exactly. I wish, yeah. Yeah, right. The locker man. I like that. We call him Pizza Time around here. But yeah, like, I thought that was a really cool take on that. And by the way, like, if those who are maybe new to watching the Comic Binge or unfamiliar, we try not to spoil stories. This is such a short story that there's going to be mostly spoilers. The good news, though, is that I don't think having the spoilers will ruin this comic book, really, in my opinion. It's a pretty light, fun read, right, Adam? Would you agree?
Yes.
Okay. He's not. I know we're back to being delayed again, but yeah, I would say this is something that you can know everything that happens and still have a lot of fun reading it. I will say I was surprised by my favorite aspect is this one, which I thought was very inspired. I would say Harold Superman. That was super rad. I thought that was very, very inspired. What do you think?
Yeah, it's very cool. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, so I thought it was cool. Having Superman be like this, like the whole gold thing motif. It just, again, it felt, for having Galactus ruined Krypton, to having Superman be the Herald, Hank Henshaw, the cyborg Superman, involved in teaming up with the Fantastic Four. This was all something that I thought could have been like a lot more jumbled, but Jurgens really impressed me because he really, that's a good question. I don't know. You have to ask him. Adam, answer the question. Do you have an answer?
No, I'm not.
Okay, he's none of the above apparently. So, but yeah, I think when you're juggling this much stuff, it's really easy to get bogged down, But Jurgens is such a freaking. He's just what's the word? He's just so workmanlike, right? Like he's so.
Yeah. Well, he knows the characters is the thing.
Mm-hmm.
So like he makes it work. Like I said, it's just such a good idea to be like, well, what if Galactus was somehow responsible for Krypton's destruction? Like it's just a good hook. Like
yeah.
Then they're in alternate realities, and it just kind of, but they come together. I don't know. It works really well.
Yeah,
it's satisfying. Yeah. Like it's not all convoluted. It just kind of they go in and out, and there you go.
Yeah. No, totally.
No.
He's like,
no way.
Yeah. I just want to say that with Jurgens really shows you, like, he knows the characters, but he knows the medium, man. Like, he goes through all this pretty efficiently. And now and I do think being a writer artist, you can get away and do a lot because you know how the page is going to look out, and there's just something about being able to tell a story pretty efficiently without having to like bog down with a lot of background, information. And Jurgens does a great job of doing that. Like Andreas said, he's awesome. Jurgens is just a damn good writer, man. Like,
and then then in the middle of the story, he just throws in the origin of the Fantastic Four and the origin of Hank Henshaw, and it's like, there you go.
And how they're connected almost, right? Like that again, that's an inspired, like, dude gets it, man. I mean, go read First Night, by Jurgens.
I read a little bit.
So good. So good. I can't wait for the sequel. Him and Perkins. Yeah. Chef's kiss. I mean, it's so good. It's so good. Has anyone read First Night? We've covered it on here, I think, at one point. So, yeah, yes. I mean, he is definitely one of the best, he's one of the best Superman writers of all time. I mean, he has to be. I mean, I do think how his Superman 75 is a great issue. I mean, obviously he had collaborators to work with. Obviously, it's not just him, but and Reign of the Superman is way better. And people give it. It feels like Reign of the Superman is getting a lot more credit nowadays in the last like 10 years than it did when it first came out. Because when it first came out, everyone was like, "This is dog crap," because it's got so many, blah blah blah. This isn't Image Comics. This isn't Death Blow or Wildcats or Youngblood or Savage Dragon or Spawn or blah blah blah. They don't look like they have spikes and blah blah blah. These guys are the Superman. The Superboy looks stupid.
But Superboy's cool.
Yeah.
The new, I mean, that look came back hard with the jacket.
Really did. It really did.
And Steel's cool too, honestly.
Well, Steel's probably of all those characters. Well, I would say all of them. Except for the last Son of Krypton, he's kind of like a whatever
Eradicator or whatever.
Yeah, Eradicator. He's like, there's like 3 of them now or something. I don't know.
Oh, I don't know anything about that.
Yeah, I don't either. I have no ideas. Eradicator, but yeah, I definitely want to do eventually Reign of the Superman. Maybe I'll do that for the binge next year. Oh.
I'd be down. I want to read that stuff. I've kind of perused it a bit.
All right. Maybe we'll do this. We're done this. Okay, see. Of course, Rob comes in.
You mentioned Spawn, he just pops up now.
Yeah, I say Spawn, and he's like, oh. Rob.
He's on his phone.
Yeah, Rob's he's gonna love this. I want to do our Gen 13 episode soon, man. And by soon, I mean September. And I mean that too. I mean it seriously. I was thinking about when we could do that. So I want to do it in September because I got next month already booked. Andreas, Rob drew Oh my god. I forget the title. Oh my god. Spawn. Oh my god. I'm totally blanking the title of their comic. Spawn. Oh my god.
Kills every Spawn.
Yeah, Kills every Spawn. I could not think of the name. I feel like a complete jackass. I'm sorry, Rob. You know I love you. This is why I love Rob, dude.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
you have the whole month of September booked. It's like, what the hell are you doing?
No, I have the whole month of August booked, but
August, that's what I mean.
Yeah, I said August. I didn't say September. No, I meant this September, sir. So yeah, I don't, dude. It's not I forgot your book. It's because my memory. I just on the spot. I just couldn't remember off the top of my head. So anyway, yes, we do. And I bought all the comics through your shop, Andreas. So anyway, yeah, Rob. Yeah, don't forget Rob's book. Spawn Kills Every Spawn at the it's. You can buy it in trade. Buy the single issues too. But yes, like Andreas says, you can pick up a trade at your local comic shop those who carry. So, yeah, like, I thought Reign of Superman was a lot. People give it a lot of crap, but it definitely feels like Jurgens always got a lot of respect, especially once he took over. When Marvel like got him over to do Spider-Man for a hot minute. Yeah. And then he bolted because he's like, this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
You got things bad when you leave voluntarily to reboot Spider-Man when you killed Superman. You're like, this is too effed up. I'm out of here. You got problems.
Well, he did come back and do Thor around this time that this came out, I think, right?
He did, yeah.
Junior.
Yeah, now that's something I need to revisit. And in Jurgens, I need to read more of his stuff because every time I read it, I'm always like, this is good. Yeah. And I want to say this right now, and Andreas or Rob or anyone who knows better than me, and I know the FF pretty well. I'm pretty sure I know this. I don't think Jurgens has ever written the Fantastic Four as a regular title, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure I'm right on this. And after reading this comic, Adam, I'm kind of depressed we haven't gotten that yet because I thought he nailed it 100%.
And
yeah, good.
Well, yeah, 100. Okay. I want to bring this up now to kind of tie it into the upcoming movie and controversy around the upcoming movie. Because you got people complaining, they're like whining about like, based on press interviews or whatever before the in the trailers or whatever, and they're like, oh, Reed's being emasculated by Sue and Sue's the leader or whatever, and all that crap. And it's like, but you read this book and Reed is like trapped in a bubble for half of it, or like more for like almost the majority of it. He's trapped in a bubble, and who leads the team? It's Sue, and she does a damn good job. So take that.
Yeah, take that.
That I say.
Take that, grifters. You bunch of dickwads.
I mean, she's the leader of the team.
Yeah,
and everyone's cool with it. There's no problem. And Reed figures out a way to
of course
do stuff, but he's trapped in a bubble for like the majority of the book.
And speaking awesome. Speaking of Sue Storm leading the team, me and Curtis, we just read the DeFalco run, which Sue, as soon as Reed died, who took over? It was Sue. Sue led the team, and Sue was a major force, and now granted, like, Reed has been the undefined or, unquestioned leader for a long time. Right. But I think later years, and I've read I haven't read all Fantastic Four comics, but I've read a lot of modern. I've read I read all the Byrne stuff. I've read all the DeFalco stuff. I've read all the Miller stuff. I read all the Hickman stuff. And I can tell you that Reed's the leader, but Sue is very much like equal to like them making decisions together in a hot, instant second. Reed's the one giving probably the first order off the top, but just because he's the genius guy, he's on top of that stuff. But as far as like leading the team long term, Sue is just as important as Reed Richards in that respect. And I think anyone who reads Fantastic Four is going to be able to, they can't argue that. Like, more so than Thing or Johnny. So, I mean, Yeah, so I mean, like, it makes sense, and like to your point, in this comic book we're read right here, she's 100% unquestionable leader, and even Henshaw is like, oh man, this woman is a leader. Oh my god, I like that. He's being all like, I'm a robot, but it's true. And then everyone be like, MCU so woke because it got Sue Storm being a leader. What the hell is that? It's like, God, shut the hell up. We all know what they're doing. They just want money. Those people who support that stuff, they don't really. I mean, if they don't actually believe that, they're just idiots. But I mean, I'm pretty sure they don't believe it. They're smart enough to not believe it, but also just to say that so they can get money from people who actually do believe it, which is a lot, which is sad. But anyway, I digress. But yeah, don't be fooled by that. Don't be fooled by those headlines. Sue Storm has always been a very much an important part of leadership in the Fantastic Four. I'd say more so than Johnny or Thing in a long, long time. I think it was Thing and the Mr. Fantastic for the first 20 years, maybe up to 30 years almost. But I think but since Byrne's run, I'd say like that's when things started really shifting towards Sue's favor at that point, because it was Byrne. I'm pretty sure is the one who made Sue basically the most powerful member of the team. And once that was established, it was pretty much like, if she's the most powerful person on the team, then she needs to be like more of a bigger voice. And that's what ended up happening. So, which again, the Byrne run, it's goated. It probably is the best Fantastic Four run of all time, bar none. So, and mind you, the She-Hulk joins the team at some point. So you're doing something good when you add in a whole new character to the book. Which, by the way, She-Hulk, when she comes in, it's fantastic. It's super, super good. Has anyone read the Byrne run on here? Holler at your boy, because I'm curious. Has anyone? And I know you haven't read it. Pizza time. So.
No, I haven't read it. I probably should.
Just Javi. Oh boy. I think it will. Mark Miller is he's an interesting writer. Let's say I'll leave it at that. I like him more than most people, but he's interesting. Yeah. So to be back to my point about Dan Jurgens. If Marvel's looking for a future writer, I know Ryan North's killing it right now, and I want to get on that eventually. We would, to be honest, I think Jurgens would be a great writer for Fantastic Four, to be honest, a modern writer, to get on there and do some good stuff. The FF has had such an inconsistent writer base, Ryan North seems to has stabilized it a lot, but hopefully that they'll keep adding to it here. I know. Andres, by the way, this is off the subject really quick. Have you found my One Nation Under Doom issue 4 yet? If you haven't, you need to order another one, because I'm still mad about that. Not really mad, just bummed. Holler at your boy. Javi, I want to say right now that I give a lot of credit to JMS, because I only have like a few issues left of his run, and this is what's happening during Civil War. I think JMS does a good job of showing that why Reed would join Tony. So I'll just leave it at that. Yeah, and I've read the first 6 issues of Ryan North's run, and I liked it. I thought it was good. So current FF run, I want to get into it. I want to read One Nation Under Doom when I eventually get all the issues. Andreas, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. Go get that for me, please. So yeah, like I think I'm gonna, maybe we'll even binge it for the show. I don't know. We'll see. Lots of binge worthy things right now. Have you read any of it? You haven't read? Yes, right. You haven't read any Fantastic Four, so you haven't read any of the new stuff, right?
No.
Do you have any interest of reading the Fantastic Four?
A little bit.
Why only a little bit?
I don't know. I guess because, well, I think I've always kind of thought that they're kind of boring looking.
Wow.
Except for Johnny and Ben, obviously.
They're 2 of the 4 characters. It's like half the team.
I know. But I guess I just feel like the uniforms are boring, maybe.
God, you're boring. How dare you, sir? How dare you say they're boring? Miller's run was short and sweet. And again, more foundational than people want to admit. I would say it's funny. More back to the Superman comparison. That's another, I would say, comparison that Theft gets labeled a lot. Is that the whole boring, thing, the whole wholesome thing, is like, it's boring.
I don't think the characters. I think that just the characters themselves kind of like look boring. Like just the uniforms. I guess it's not. I don't have a problem with the character, like their characterization or whatever. Like, it's just like they're not interesting to look at, except for Johnny and Ben, really. And I've always liked how Human Torch looks. I always thought that was really cool, especially the Kirby way of, the lines.
Yes,
I always thought that was cool.
Like
the minimal thing of Johnny with like the lines on him and everything. I always liked that.
Yeah, that's one thing I don't understand about modern Human Torch stuff, because the lines,
they get rid of it.
They got rid of the line. The lines are what make the Human Torch. The lines look amazing.
Makes them look, more than just like a silhouette that's kind of got some fire on them.
Yeah. I mean, like the above picture here, it's not terrible. It works, right? But I mean, like, give me the lines, man. Yeah. The lines what make the character. So frustrating. Like, it's like back in the first 30 years, they'd always, they'd always give the Thing like a colored like rock, like for shadow and stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
Like they stopped doing that, it felt like. And I'm like, no, give me back the shadows, bitch. Come on. Like, seriously. I want my old school. So anyway, yeah, this is gonna be a short and sweet episode, but I
do think it's funny too that, like, I guess some of the promo material for the movie has made it seem like Thing doesn't want to say his catchphrase. Like Johnny kind of is like, say the thing, Ben, and he's like, I don't want to say the thing. But in this issue, in this little thing, he's like, I've been waiting to say this all day.
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah, totally.
Anyway,
so yeah,
just random connections I'm making here.
No, they're good connections. So for people who are watching, go read the comic. It's definitely worth it. So my question for you, Adam,
it's a good way to tie in essentially DC's first character.
Yeah, and it feels like the aesthetic is going to fit for both movies. The way Jurgens does it in this, which is
what I was.
Yeah, go ahead.
What I was going to say was, like, it's a good tying in of what's essentially DC's first superhero and Marvel's first superheroes, like of their, the modern Marvel thing, I guess.
Andreas, I'll tell you what, you gift me the 100 Bullets series, I will read it. Only if you gift it to me. So, comics ain't cheap, homie. That's right. In other words, please subscribe so I can get monetized. Thank you very much. So and like the video, please. It helps me get the algorithm. So before we leave, is anyone in the chat have any questions for us before we get out of here? Questions about Superman, Fantastic Four? I'll answer if I can. That's why I told you. You can gift it to me if you want me to read it. Anyone have any questions for us about Fantastic Four, Superman? Because next week we'll be reviewing the movie. After that, we'll be reviewing. We'll be doing. Hopefully, Curtis and I will be doing the JMS run that Javi did not dropped off of and everything. And then after that, we'll do Knights Never Die. And I had one more I was going to do, and I totally forgot what it was. And now I'm like, damn it. Forgot what I was going to talk about in August, but in September, hopefully I can get Rob and we'll do Gen 13, which I've been dying to read that one again. That's a doozy. Moonshine. What's Moonshine? Andreas, holler at me. What is that? Is that what are we doing here? Well, Superman movie, I guess I'd say the modern Superman movie, I do love, a lot of people love the original Christopher Reeve movies. I don't love them as much as other people do. I like the first one, but the ending just throws me out of it completely. If I Gundam, yeah, and obviously I said this before, Javi, my favorite FF movie is no shit here. It's gonna be Corman. I love that. I love it. I think it's great. And now, I would say, what's bummer about, and maybe the Corman one has a lot more. I like it a lot more because I watched it with Beerly. We watched it together before we went to the airport when I dropped him off, and that was a special time watching that with him. So, yeah, good. We both loved it at the time, so it's maybe I love it more because Beerly loved it too. So we'll see. Yeah, we'll see. Yes, more Superman. I agree. And horror crime comic. All right, but what publisher? Tell me, sir. Okay, that's 24 issues. That's great. What publisher? Tell me, damn it, tell me. Yes, I know, Javi. I love you too. I know. Rest in peace, my friend Beerly. I love you. Yeah. Of course it's Image. Of course it's Image. Why wouldn't it be? It can't be anything else. You know what we have to review maybe is Damn Them All, which is a kind of like Cy Spurrier. I read the first little bit of that. I love that series, and that's kind of not really Halloweenish, but I need to read it. Picked it up at your comics shop, actually, Andreas. So, yeah. So, all right. So, when are you gonna see Superman, Adam? Tell me what the hell, dude.
I don't know.
Are you not gonna go see it?
Hopefully, I will, but I'm booked this week, so I don't know.
Booked.
I am
booked doing what?
I got Comic-Con all week. It's starting tomorrow through Sunday. All gas, no brakes, baby.
All gas, no brakes. All right, really quick, what comics are you looking for?
I don't know. Probably some stuff for the Spidey collection, and if I can find like some trades at a discount or something.
Trade discounts are the best, dude, at those Comic Cons. I've only paid for Comic Con once. I've managed to mooch off other people getting in other times, and man, getting those deals on those trades, whoo, chef's kiss, baby. I love it.
Yeah, when you find like a booth and it's like, oh, everything's 50% off, and it's like, holy.
Yeah, dude. I ain't hating. I all about that. I'm all about that jazz. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I totally get it. No one cares about scalps. You can probably get that online for $10. Right, Andreas? I'm just kidding, mostly. Yeah, so I'm excited. How excited are you for FF? I'm assuming you're gonna watch that before Superman.
I don't know. Maybe. Who knows?
Are you kidding me? God, you're killing me today, man. You're killing me today. All right. Adam, where can people find?
At least the reviews are good for that so far.
Dude, the reviews are crazy good. Has it got on Rotten Tomatoes yet?
I don't think so. I haven't checked. I'm
very curious where that lands. Very curious. Not that it deters me either way, to be honest, but right. I just for the success, because other people do. The success of a movie does greatly help when it has good reviews on that one way or another.
I mean, I looked at the Superman one, like when right after that came out, and I haven't done that in a while.
Yeah, and it was good. It's hold up. Yeah, I had someone. Yeah, go ahead.
No, it's just solid. Like it stayed solid, and it's like 83, 93, 92, something like that. Like for critic and audience, and it's like there you go. It reminds me of like when I was like I would check like when ASM came out, the web one that came out, and I was like looking at that like almost every day when that came out for some reason. I don't know.
Oh, the web series. Woo! Yeah. The web series. What is that guy even doing now, by the way?
He did Snow White, I think. The new live action Disney Snow White.
He did the new Snow White? Oh,
I think so. Hold on, let me see.
Oof. If he did, his career is donezoed, bro.
Yes, he did do it. He's been doing, because what else? He did some. He's been doing like, I don't even know.
Oh, poor guy.
I forget that he's the guy who did 500 Days of Summer. I kind of forgot.
That's a solid movie. That's a solid movie.
Yeah, that was pretty. He did that, and then he did Spider-Man like right after.
Yeah, he did. He did.
Oof. He's done a lot of. Okay, he's done a lot of TV pilots. Well, TV directing lately.
Well, he's making some money, man. Make some work.
Yeah.
Do some work. But he ain't working in film anymore. I'll say that.
No, he's got a. It says he's got a movie, an action thriller.
Well, it remains to be seen, Adam. It remains to be seen.
So, I guess. I mean, this is on Wikipedia.
Yeah, we'll see.
Principal photography began. Johnny Depp's in it.
Uh-oh, we're dead. All right. Where can people find you, man? Where can people follow your shenanigans?
Spidey Dude Radio Network and Enchilada Legs on the social media sites and
on here.
And on here, the Comic Binge. Yeah, I'm on several episodes, many episodes.
Yeah, we'll get you back on again. This whole reign of the Superman thing is interesting.
I'm down for it, yeah.
I might have to do that. All right. Follow the Comic Binge, subscribe to the Comic Binge. Please like the videos, comment, all that jazz, because it helps keep us getting their algorithm. And I have nothing much to say besides that. Next week, Fantastic Four review. It's gonna be epic. It's gonna be fun. So Chris isn't here, so I'll take us out for us. Read more comics. Bye bye.